Let's kick things off with family number 1, the art of comparison.
Writers absolutely love comparisons. It's how they take something abstract and link it to something you already understand. And right here we have the two undisputed heavyweights, simile and metaphor. Now, people mix these up literally all the time. But the crucial point? It all comes down to the words like or as. A simile uses them as a bridge. He is as brave as a lion, or her voice is like honey. It's safe. But a metaphor? Oh, a metaphor skips the bridge entirely. It's direct. It doesn't say the world is like a stage. It boldly claims the world is a stage. It doesn't say she shines like a star. It tells us she is a shining star. It's a much stronger commitment.
Now let's look at a totally different type of comparison, personification. This is when we give human qualities or human actions to non-human things. We're talking animals, random objects, or elements of nature. It's basically the ultimate tool for bringing the inanimate to life. It adds this incredible layer of magic to everyday descriptions. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. Think about these quotes. The flowers danced in the breeze. Flowers don't have feet, right? They definitely don't know how to waltz. And the wind whispered in my ear. The wind doesn't have vocal cords, but by giving human actions like dancing or whispering to nature, the writer completely transforms a boring weather report into actual cinematic art.
All right, moving right along to section 2, the symphony of sounds.
Because let's be honest, truly beautiful language isn't just meant to be read silently on a page. It is meant to be heard. And first up in our sound symphony is alliteration. This is the repetition of the exact same starting sound, specifically a consonant sound, in a line of poetry or a sentence. It's all about creating this punchy cadence that absolutely hooks the ear.
Just try saying these examples out loud. She sells seashells. Notice how that S sound physically hisses and bounces off your tongue? Or what about busy bees buzzed? The repeating B acts exactly like a drum beat. Repeating those starting sounds creates a highly memorable rhythm. It literally sticks in your brain.
Next up is honestly one of my absolute favorites, onomatopoeia. Yeah, it's a massive word, but it's such a simple, incredibly fun concept. It's words that literally imitate natural sounds. It turns text into real-life sound effects. When a bee flies by, it goes buzz. A snake gives a hiss. An explosion is a bang, and water makes a splash. You aren't just reading the word, you are hearing the action happen right there in real time.
Let's move on and see how this builds with assonance and consonants. You can really think of these as two sides of the exact same auditory coin. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. Take the mellow wedding bells. You hear that short E echoing through the whole sentence? It's smooth. Consonance, on the other hand, is the repetition of consonant sounds close together, but they don't have to be at the start of the word, like the lumpy, bumpy road or the pitter-patter of little feet. These tools are the secret ingredients that make poetry and speeches sound so incredibly musical.
Okay, let's shift gears to section 3, emphasis and exaggeration.
Sometimes a writer needs to make absolutely sure we don't miss their point. They kind of need to grab us by the collar and shake us just a little bit. Enter hyperbole. By definition, a hyperbole is an extreme exaggeration used to create emphasis or maybe some humor. It is the ultimate tool for drama. You are definitely not meant to take it literally. Instead, it's meant to make the totally ordinary feel gigantic and overwhelmingly important.
Now, what's really interesting here is how naturally we use these massive exaggerations in our everyday conversations without even realizing it. I told you 1,000 times. Okay, did you actually count to 1,000? No way. His bag weighs a ton. Is it really 2,000 pounds? Of course not. But stating it this way guarantees the listener fully understands your frustration or just the sheer ridiculous weight of that backpack.
Another great way to emphasize a point is just by repeating it. But there is a super nuanced difference between standard repetition and a device called anaphora. Repetition is just the repeated use of a word or phrase anywhere. Alone, alone, all alone. Or never, never, never give up. It hammers the feeling home. But anaphora, that is highly structured. It's when the same word or phrase is repeated specifically at the very beginning of consecutive lines. Every child deserves love. Every child deserves respect. I want freedom. I want peace. Anaphora is front-loaded. It creates this powerful marching rhythm that great public speakers use literally all the time.
And just like that, we've reached our final section. Number 4, twists, turns, and wordplay.
This is where writers purposefully twist meanings just to surprise us, make us think, or honestly, just make us laugh. First up, the oxymoron. This is a total mind-bending figure of speech, where opposite, totally contradictory words are jammed right next to each other. Deafening silence. I mean, how can silence be loud enough to deafen you? Living dead, or pretty ugly. They sound like mistakes, but they actually perfectly capture really complex realities. Then we have the transferred epithet. This is when an adjective cleverly ships a feeling onto a concept. Like, he had a sleepless night. The night itself can't literally be awake, right? It's the person who is sleepless. Or a warm welcome. The concept of a welcome doesn't actually have a temperature, but the feeling behind it for sure does.
Next is the apostrophe. And no, definitely not the punctuation mark. In literature, an apostrophe is when a speaker talks directly to someone who is absent, dead, or even to a non-living thing as if it were standing right there and could actually respond back. It is exactly like breaking the fourth wall in a movie, but with this sudden theatrical flair.
Just look at how addressing the abstract creates this immediate emotional intensity. Oh, death, where is your sting? The speaker is literally taunting the concept of death right to its face. Or think of the classic lullaby. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. You're looking up into the sky and having a casual conversation with a ball of gas millions of light years away, as if it's your buddy. That is the true power of the apostrophe.
And finally, we wrap up our 14 terms with the absolute most playful of them all, the pun. A pun is a play on words that produces humor, usually by relying on a word having a double meaning. Take this absolute classic. Time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like bananas. In the first half, flies is an action verb, but in the second half, fruit flies are the bugs, and they really like the fruit bananas. It tricks your brain in the best possible way.
Need one more? Here it is. A bicycle can't stand on its own because it's too tired. Get it? Too tired, too tired. Okay, yeah, it's the ultimate dad joke, but it perfectly illustrates how writers can use double meanings to keep the mood super light, really engaging, and highly memorable.
And there we have it, the whole shebang. We've covered 14 distinct tools today, from metaphors all the way to puns, neatly organized into 4 families. You've seen exactly how language can be shaped to sound like music, wildly exaggerated for drama, and twisted up for humor. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Now that you have access to this full, incredible writer's palette, which figure of speech are you going to intentionally use to paint your next masterpiece?